Hello, welcome to Twinpossible, where anything is possible if you put your mind, your body, and soul into it. Today we're going to discuss the topic of twins. And being a new mom of twins who are 3.5 months, almost 4 months old now, which is scary, I've loved every second of it, but I have to say that I had a lot of fears, and I didn't have a lot of information out there. Just scary stories and some things that just frightened me more so than helped me on the internet. So that's part of why I created my website, in order to give some hope to people who are pregnant with twins, for not just their postpartum figures and life and sanity, but for their pregnancy too, because you worry about complications, you stress all the time about preterm labor, placenta previa, preeclampsia, gestational diabetes, all the complications that are possible, and more so with twin pregnancies, but doesn't have to be that way. I never expected my body to be able to carry 2 babies. I thought that once my belly held about 7 pounds or so, that it would automatically just bust and I would have these babies too soon. And I was so petrified that I didn't enjoy the pregnancy. I was petrified of miscarriage. I was petrified of having to be. I could visualize myself caring for 2 babies, especially at night. My husband works nights, alone with 2 babies. Couldn't visualize that. I couldn't visualize not having any sleep ever again. How I was going to cope with it, how we were going to financially do it, how we'd manage, how we'd spread our love that far, because we already have 2 other children and one passed. I don't want to get upset. One passed away sadly, but I have 4 children all now in my home, and how I was going to be able to spread that love to 2 more children, and at once. How was I going to juggle all that? And how on earth was I ever going to, I was just packing away all my summer clothes. I threw them in the back of the garage someplace, and my bathing suits, forget about it. If you read my Twitter, I had to go out and buy all new ones, because I can't even find the stuff. It's not even worth digging through that garage. I mean, it's crazy in here. But I mean, it's too hot anyway, and it would take forever. But I mean, I was just ready. I was actually going to throw it all away, because I never expected to be in shape ever again. I really honestly didn't, because if you read online and see pictures and stories, it's all negative stuff out there, so don't bother doing it. Just scares you for your postpartum period, ruins the pregnancy. To read so much about that and pregnancy complications, statistics on twins after birth, and this and that and the other thing, and I was thinking about, SIDS and developmental delays, cerebral palsy, premature birth, everything that went through my mind, and so far so good. I mean, I did develop gestational diabetes. It's the only complication, and it was very manageable, and it freaked me out, and I was flipped out over it, because it was something that I've never experienced before. It wasn't so bad, and it is gone, and nothing else ensued. I had a picture-perfect pregnancy. My babies were born at 37 weeks, so I made it to term. I did not break early, because I'm on the smaller side. That doesn't happen, so don't worry about that. The uterus doesn't go to a certain point and then leave, because I was like 55 weeks pregnant at the end. So that's what my uterus measured, if you can believe that. So 15 weeks over. So when I was 27 weeks and heard that I was measuring at 38, 39, that was freaking me out. I wasn't that huge yet, but to hear that, and the doctor goes, "Well, you won't need the wheelbarrow for another couple weeks now, Shell." And I'm like, "Oh, thanks." But I never needed a wheelbarrow. Everything turned out fine. I belly bound myself back into shape. Do some light exercise, but really there's very little time for it. So I do what I can when I can. I use my shape-ups. I think they help the lower body. Belly binding helped the midsection beyond belief. I have separate videos for that. And it's just like a lot of the things, and all of the things that I worried about never came true. And having the 2 babies, I was so scared about bringing home these 2 babies. Brought home these 2 babies. I thought something was going to be, that one was going to pass away or something, because I couldn't dream about 2 babies. I couldn't visualize 2 babies. I sat on the bed and I just stared at these 2 cribs, and I said, I cannot picture 2 babies in these cribs. And that freaked me out, because I thought something was going to happen that was bad. Nothing happened. Those babies are perfect, healthy. They were 5 pounds, almost 14 ounces, and 5 pounds, 3 ounces, almost 3 ounces. And so I had 11 pounds of baby inside of me, and beautiful, perfect, healthy babies that came home with me. That 2 days when I was released, they were released, and they've been wonderful. I expected such horrible chaos. The worst thing has been jealousy with my 4-year-old. Dealing with that has been the hardest part of it all. The rest of it has been wonderful. I hardly could bond. I was so nervous and everything, and two, I just couldn't wrap my brain around it. I was in twin shock the whole time. I didn't enjoy pregnancy as much as I should have and wish I did. And so all my fears and everything, I couldn't even really bond. Because I just wanted one baby. I felt like, oh my gosh, 2 is just too much. Like, we can't do this. And we were just in such shock. I couldn't bond the way that I always did with my single babies, and I feel guilty for that now. And I think it's sort of normal for a lot of women who, are very shocked by twins. Not everybody is gung-ho to have twins. Some are, but in the real world, it's a freaky, scary thing, from the start to the finish. So, it was just all around scary, and I freaked myself out, and everything I freaked myself out about, it never came to pass. I can't imagine life with one of them missing from the page. I couldn't. I don't have singleton envy anymore like I did in the beginning when I was pregnant. As soon as I saw them, I couldn't love them any more than I did, and I bonded immediately. So if you're not bonding that much and you're pregnant with twins and you're fearing that, how can I love them, or will I love them as much as my other kids, or can I do this, you can do it. It's not as hard as some of the horror stories that people post online. If you notice, more people post their horror stories than their positive, wonderful stories, because those people either just don't want to post them, or they're so happy they don't need to post them. They're not on there. They're busy enjoying life and their families, But other people who like to either stir up drama or just like rant, they'll go out and they'll tell their stories online, and that's what you're reading. So my website's about the positive side of things, and the positive side of things is you can carry to term, you can get back in shape postpartum, you can get through without any pregnancy complications. You can love 2 children and bond with them and spread your love that far to your entire family. And you can survive twins and enjoy it, because it's wonderful to see them together and to look at them. You'll never remember what it was like before them, or ever imagine one of them out of the equation. And so that, I hope, helps some of the women that may be pregnant with multiples and a little scared or petrified like I was. Okay, this is Shelly from Twinpossible signing off. Have a great night.